Hey, how's it going? I'm here to break down the snooze fest of 2022 for the Kansas City Chiefs. This seems to be an annual occurrence. Every season you have that one game that's just excruciatingly slow, and you find yourself so bored at halftime that you can't wait for the game to be over. That's exactly what this game was for the Kansas City Chiefs against the defending champion Los Angeles Rams. Coming into this game, we knew this wasn't going to be very competitive, although it was a little bit more competitive than anticipated, in my opinion, because the Rams are without Matthew Stafford and John Wolford, the backup, so that leaves them no choice but to start Bryce Perkins in his first career start. Obviously, the Rams are still without Cooper Kupp and even Allen Robinson, so the Rams just with no weapons really at all other than Aaron Donald. That's about it. And even Aaron Donald in this game was pretty quiet. So let's just get into a throwaway game. These are the types of games that scare the living shit out of good teams like the Chiefs and their fans, because obviously you know that they're more than likely going to be easy wins. But the concern is that these are the types of throwaway games that are pretty much meaningless, that have injury risks to them. These are the type of games that you absolutely do not want to lose your players. You don't want to see players go out with injuries in games like these. So let's just get into this. The Chiefs start off with the ball. It's 5 plays, only 2 minutes out the clock. They would end up punting. So the Chiefs on their first drive are held by the Rams defense. The Rams get the ball, and they go 3 and out. Chiefs defense holds up, and on the Rams punt, you're not going to believe what happened. Sky Moore is back to return the punt, and it never even touches his hands. Just bounces right off his fucking chest. It's picked up by the Rams, and they get the ball right back like nothing ever happened. And this is so predictable. It is absolutely predictable. You have a guy like Sky Moore, a rookie who has no idea what the hell he's doing back there because he's just inexperienced at punt returns. He's not used to it at all. And he's being put in this position in the NFL level. Listen, blame Dave Toub for even putting Sky Moore in the backfield to begin with when he's already proven time and time again that he's not ready or even near a position to be ready yet. How long is it going to take for Dave Toub to be fired? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the bullshit he's always doing. Long overdue, his firing has. It's consistently stupid shit like this that makes me dislike him as a coach more and more. Speaking of more, Sky fucking sucks at punt returns. He just does. He's proven it. He's a rookie, for God's sake. Why on earth are we putting him back there with no experience? When you have guys like Watson, who, while they're not perfect choices, they're much better and less stress-inducing than Sky Moore. Just unbelievable. It's unbelievable when you see this type of stuff, because us as fans, we could sit here on our fucking couches and just know, like it's common knowledge, that you don't put Sky Moore in on punt returns. You don't do it. But Dave Toub does it anyway because he's stupid. I just don't understand why he does it. I don't. Dave Toub is god-awful, and I'm so ready for him to just be gone. He has no reason at all being the special teams coordinator for the Chiefs. No position at all to be doing it, but he still is anyway. How many more times can he screw up this season? We'll find out. Catch us next week. Oh, and if the Rams injuries weren't bad enough already, Sean McVay got hit by one of his own players on the sideline in the jaw before the game even started. You know, maybe even their head coach is going to end up on the IR. That's what it seems like at this point. The Rams cannot catch a break. Luckily for Dave Toub, the Rams would then go 3 and out again, and they don't turn the muff punt into anything, not even a field goal. The Chiefs get the ball back, and they take the opportunity to go downfield and score. It's 9 plays, 90 yards, and it is a Travis Kelce pass touchdown from Patrick Mahomes. Almost every player in the league would have been tackled way short of the end zone here, but Kelce just, for whatever reason, he's not very shifty. He's seemingly not very fast. He just won't be brought down. He refuses to be brought down. The dude's an absolute machine. Pounds through everybody and gets into the end zone. What an incredible effort by Kelce here, and it's 7-0 Chiefs. The Rams get the ball back, and in 10 plays, nearly 6 minutes off the clock, they would respond with a field goal of their own. It's a 47-yarder for Matt Gay, and it's 7-3 Chiefs. The Chiefs get the ball back, and in 12 plays, they go 66 yards and settle for the 27-yard Harrison Butker field goal. Harrison Butker makes it. The Rams get the ball back, and in 10 plays, they would end up punting. The Chiefs get the ball back, and they settle for a late field goal, 16 seconds left in the half, It's a 32-yarder from Butker. He makes it. It's 13-3 Chiefs going into halftime. To begin the third quarter, the second half of the game, the Rams go 3 and out. It's a common theme for the Rams in this game, going 3 and out. They just cannot find any rhythm whatsoever. The Chiefs receive the ball back, and they would go downfield 71 yards in 12 plays for the touchdown. Their second of the game, it's an Isaiah Pacheco 3-yard rush. The PAT is good from Harrison Butker. Isaiah Pacheco, in my honest opinion, and I think the Chiefs coach's opinions too, or at least I'd like to think so, Pacheco has solidified the number 1 running back slot over Clyde, over McKinnon, over everybody. He's just the best on our roster. No way around it. He's simply the best. Pacheco runs like he snorts a line of coke before each run. The dude runs with anger and vengeance, and I love it. He's not the biggest guy, but my God, does he fight for every extra yard that he possibly can. The dude has an animal inside of him, and he's actually really fun to watch. He's becoming one of my favorite Chiefs players as the season progresses. 7th round draft pick, Isaiah Pacheco has been fantastic for the Chiefs, and he has rightfully, in my opinion, solidified the number 1 running back slot on the Chiefs roster. With this touchdown, it is actually his first touchdown since week 1. His second career touchdown. But that tends to happen when the coaches are choosing Clyde and McKinnon the majority of the season over Pacheco. Why, I don't really know, but it looks like Pacheco is going to be the RB1 from here on out for the rest of the season, as he should. Speaking of running backs, Ronald Jones, a name that you probably haven't heard in a while, a name that a lot of Chiefs fans probably forgot was even on the roster this year. Ronald Jones, a pickup from the Bucs, a veteran running back. He gets his first playing time of the season with the Chiefs. I know he was tweeting a few weeks ago, requesting a trade or whatever, something like that. He was mad that Reed isn't putting him in the games. He's mad that he's getting no playing time. Well, it's basically because he's failing at what the coaches are trying to get him to do, and that's block for other running backs. He can't block, and that's been his main issue, and that's why he hasn't been getting starts. But he gets to start in this game. It's his first game with the Chiefs. He gets 4 carries for 12 yards. So nothing anywhere near notable, obviously. What's notable about it is the fact that he is actually suited up and he's playing for the first time. And this was an offseason acquisition that got a fair amount of buzz around the league. I mean, Ronald Jones, not a superstar name, but a respectable name at that. People know who he is. Moving on, the Rams, they would respond with their first touchdown of the game. And it was their first touchdown. They didn't even get it till the start of the fourth quarter. It was actually just 4 seconds. It was the first play of the fourth quarter. 4 seconds in, they get the touchdown. It's a 7-yard pass to Van Jefferson from Bryce Perkins, their first of the game. It is 20-10 Chiefs. And suddenly, because the Chiefs' red zone offense at this point has been brutal, at this point, the Rams are creeping back into the game somehow. This absolute snooze fest of the game, and the Rams have a chance. It's a 2-possession game to begin the fourth quarter. Anybody knows that at that point, it's very reasonable to suggest the team can come back from that. So this is what happens next, right? And it doesn't help the Chiefs' case for this game. They would drive 71 yards on 12 plays in 6 minutes, get to the red zone, and Mahomes throws an intended short pass for Travis Kelce, and it is right to the Rams defense. I mean, it's intercepted by Scott for the Rams, and this was, honestly, you can make an argument that this was the absolute worst interception of Mahomes' career. I know he's had a lot of interceptions that aren't really his fault. You have interceptions that just bounce off his own receiver's hands, his chest, shoulders, whatever. He has a lot of deflected passes that get intercepted, and that reflects on his stat line. And people are like, oh, well, Mahomes threw X amount of interceptions. That means that these quarterbacks are playing better because they have less, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, you look at the percentage, the chance that his receivers had to catch the ball more often than not, it's over a 75% completion chance. So really, a lot of Mahomes' interceptions aren't really on him, but you have to call him out when he deserves it. And my God, this was fucking terrible. He absolutely deserves every bit of blame for this interception. It was just probably the worst interception he's ever thrown. Certainly top 3 that I've ever seen. It was just terrible. And he acknowledged that in the press conference too. He was just like, I can't be throwing dumb interceptions like that. It was terrible. I was like, yeah, hey, he owns up to it. Something Zach Wilson can't do. So a terrible, terrible interception from Patrick Mahomes. The Rams don't do anything with it. In fact, they would just give it right back to the Chiefs on the second play of their drive. Bryce Perkins throws an interception right to L'Jarius Sneed. And the Chiefs get the ball back, and they are already in red zone offense. If there's a common theme in this game so far, it's that red zone offense doesn't exist for either of these teams, and we'll get a little bit into that after I'm done with the recap of the actual game itself here. The Chiefs turned that opportunity into a field goal. It is a 22-yarder from Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker has been on point this game. It's 23-10 Kansas City. The Rams get the ball back, and on the fourth play of their drive, Bryce Perkins throws a pass to Van Jefferson that gets tipped and intercepted by Nick Bolton. And the Chiefs have a prime opportunity to put the game way out of reach. At this point, it's still a 2-possession game, so it's not entirely over, although it's deep into the fourth quarter. So the Chiefs have a prime opportunity to actually seal the game. And that they kind of do. They make it a 16-point game with another Harrison Butker field goal, a 22-yarder, but it's still 2 possessions. Hypothetically, team can get 2 touchdowns with 2 2-point conversions. But as far as the production the Rams offense put up in this game, in 3 quarters of this game, it was basically non-existent. There's no chance in hell that they're going to be able to score 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 44 seconds of the game, which is exactly how much time they had left when they got the ball back. They ran 6 plays, ran out the entire clock, and that's it for the game. The Chiefs hold off the Rams and win this one. I say hold off, it really wasn't even that close. It was 26-10 Chiefs, which is about a predictable score, but it was a snooze fest. It was really boring to watch. Obviously, the Chiefs settled for mostly field goals. Mahomes had a terrible game for Mahomes standard, and he threw for 320 yards. 320 yards Mahomes threw, and that's a bad game for him. That says a lot about who he is as a quarterback. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's a bad game for Mahomes. 320 yards, though. Isaiah Pacheco, we go back to him solidifying the number 1 spot for running back on the Chiefs squad. 69 yards on 22 carries and 1 touchdown. And this is because this is the first game that he's gotten the majority of the handoffs, and rightfully so. He's an animal. I love watching this guy play, and I feel like he's only going to get better, especially given the fact that he's just a rookie. The Rams look flat out terrible. The Rams, there's no denying that. Obviously, they're a heavily battered and bruised team. They have essentially nobody. Even their head coach, Sean McVay, almost ended up on the injured reserve at the very beginning of this game when he got hit in the jaw by his own player on the sideline. They don't look good. This got to be the worst. I think statistically, they are one of the worst reigning champions of all time. I'm shocked. They're 3-8 now. They're 3-8. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season, hey, the Los Angeles Rams through 12 weeks are going to be 3-8, I don't even know what I would tell you. That is unheard of for a Super Bowl champion to be that bad. And mind you, they didn't even lose that many key pieces. They lost a couple of solid players. They did, but they kept a lot of their team intact. You had Aaron Donald still. You still had Matt Stafford. Still got Cooper Kupp. You're still a respectable squad of guys. And for them to go 3-8, I mean, I know they've been injured all year, but my God, that's brutal. At this point in the season, their hopes for the playoffs are long out of reach. It's not happening, especially in their division, who has the Niners and Seahawks. And honorable mention, the Cardinals as well, and their Call of Duty playing quarterback. Although the Rams did not play well in this game whatsoever, the Chiefs weren't very good as well. We already looked at Mahomes' stats. That's a bad game for them. But wait until you hear this. What was the standout stat for the Chiefs was their red zone offense. The red zone offense is one of the best, if not the best, and most consistent in the league. So for them to go 1-6 on red zone trips in this game, that's discouraging. Why is this happening? Is the Rams defense just that good, or were the Chiefs just not clicking on offense today? I don't really know what the answer is for that, but they go 1-6 on red zone trips in this game and relied on Butker to score 14 of their 26 points, which 3 weeks ago, he probably only would have had about 5 or 6 of those points. But he has stepped up, and it seems that he's regained confidence in himself as a kicker, because he went through a rough patch, and it's still early on. He's still coming out of that rough patch, but this is 2 games in a row now where he has not missed a field goal or PAT, after coming off a stretch of about 3 or 4 games where he missed at least 1, and it was primarily PATs, which is even more embarrassing. So it was encouraging for Butker to seemingly be re-emerging as a reliable kicker. But only time will tell if that will stand. The Chiefs play a well-anticipated matchup next week against the Cincinnati Bengals. And boy, let me tell you, if the Chiefs take to heart this game as much as they did against Tom Brady and the Bucs, if they come into that stadium, they go into Paul Brown Stadium with vengeance, like they went into Raymond James Stadium with vengeance earlier this season, it's not going to be a pretty game for the Bengals. The Chiefs lose 2 games to the Bengals last season, including the AFC Championship game, after dominating the first half of both of those games and just choking the lead away in the second half, respectfully, both those games. But I think the Chiefs will know not to do that again this time around. The Bengals are pretty hot. I believe they're riding a 4-game win streak. They're looking like last year's Bengals. They didn't start off too hot this season, but they're starting to look like last year's Bengals again. They're looking good, and this is going to be a highly anticipated matchup, and I can't wait for it. Mind you, Mahomes has never lost to the same team 3 times in a row. He lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots twice in a row, and he's lost to, somehow, Joe Burrow and the Bengals twice in a row on 2 games that he should have very well easily won. So if that tells you anything, Mahomes never losing 3 games in a row to any team, watch out, Bengals. The Chiefs are now 9-2 and are that much closer to being crowned the AFC West champions for a 7th straight season. I'm Chiefs Rays Bulls. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you for that game. Go Chiefs. It's the rematch. Can't wait for it. Peace out. That's about the time she walked away.